So guys, finally shifting focus away from the robotaxi, the next best thing is going to be the Model Y Juniper, and it's just right around the corner. Now, it's been about half a year ever since we started talking about the Model Y. This is just after the Model 3 Highland was launched inside of North America. Seeing all the amazing upgrades and features it brought, it made every other car in the lineup aside from the Cybertruck feel really dated. This was because both cars were produced and made available roughly around the same time, bringing really cool improvements that we've never seen before. It included the brand new stockless design, a rear display, ambient lighting, blind spot indicator, and various other upgrades. So because of all of this, it had put the other models, including the premium lineup, in a very odd situation where the Model 3, being the cheapest model, was still better in practically every way. Now, it may not sound like such a big deal in the grand scheme of things, especially for the Model S and X, being that their annual sales are less than 20,000 units combined. However, this is not the case for the Model Y, as it is the best-selling car in Tesla's entire lineup, and in fact the best-selling car in the entire world year over year. This means that as Tesla continues to ramp for the Model 3, they are slowly losing sales for the Model Y as owners are cross-shopping between the two models, something that they have never done before. The Model Y has always been the clear choice, especially for larger families wanting that additional space, but now as they are comparing it side by side in a showroom with the Model 3, it makes it a quite difficult decision to make, losing out on all the premium features. Well, that's not going to be an issue for much longer, as they are preparing to ramp up production for the new Model Y, preparing all the best features packed inside of Project Juniper. Over the past few months, we have seen many sightings of the refreshed Model Y driving around the streets of California, and a user on Reddit that goes by JackoJack spotted the very first one just outside of Rose Bowl Stadium, Pasadena. This was the one where we got our first look at the front bumper camera and the overall design that they're going with, and about a week after that, we got the largest internal leak that has ever happened at Tesla, with the employee revealing parts of the interior and exterior of this vehicle, giving us a sighting into the rear taillight design. From that point on, we started to see more and more of these prototypes on US roads, as well as the one being parked completely covered up outside of the Tesla factory. Along with this, there were also some additional leaks and images of the interior trims and parts on the production line meant for the Model Y refresh once that's available. All of this we have gone into details in my previous videos. If you want to see each one of them, I do have an entire playlist, but I also have a few that I'll drop in the description below, linking to the very best and the very latest. Now, with most of the sightings happening in the US so far, we can assume that it's going to be built and production is going to begin for the local market, but that is not necessarily the case based on the previous experiences. With the earlier prototype days of the Model 3 leading up to the announcement, we have seen the majority of vehicles being tested mainly on US roads, but this eventually led into an early launch in Asia and Europe before landing in North America months later. So we can assume that what's happening here is quite identical. Tesla could possibly leading the development in the US closer to their main offices, but cater the vehicle launch outside of North America in the later months to come. And with that, we finally have our first sign, with the Model Y Juniper finally making its first appearance outside of North America earlier this week. According to a recent sighting by a user on Twitter that goes by Eduardo Arcos, a Model Y prototype was spotted driving around Matero, Spain, completely covered up just as it was in the US. He was able to capture two images while driving down the road, although not extremely clear. We were able to grab some critical details from the rear end of this car. First off, this seems to be the exact same fabric covering we have seen in the recent sightings, confirming that this is the Model Y prototype that they have been testing. Next, we see a small but subtle difference that we haven't seen in any of the past vehicles. This is the relocation of the rear license plate holder, now moving to the bumper instead of up in the trunk. And finally, if we look really closely at one of the images, you can see that Tesla has made a slight cutout to where the light bar would typically be. This would then reveal the slight red tint to this image where you would typically see the Tesla emblem, but now replaced with lettering on top of the bar. So yeah, even though this is not the biggest sighting, it is the very first sign that they are testing it outside and preparing for the launch in Asia and Europe. As we get closer and closer to the official announcement, we are going to be seeing a lot more of these vehicles without the covering and a lot more of what's hidden underneath. What we can also expect from all this is that the Model Y Juniper is going to be built built for their respective markets. This means that for Europe, it's going to be built at Giga Berlin, and then for China and the rest of Asia, this is going to be built at Giga Shanghai. Of course, this is all done to avoid all the fees and tariffs that are put in place over the past few months, and this is what they are going to be doing. If you guys have any idea how the quality control is, how it's going to kind of compare to the Fremont build versus the China build versus the Berlin build, let us know in the comments below your experiences so far picking up the most recent Model Y. Are they any better? Are they losing out any features? Anything we can expect coming from these new vehicles? The ETA for Juniper Model Y refresh is still slated for December of this year. Sometime in late Q4 is what we can be seeing for Asia and Europe. They are ramping up for this, and then probably a few months after, they're going to do this exact same thing as they did for the Model 3 and then launch it in North America. Now, I know a lot of you could possibly be against this, as this is going against Tesla's mission, growing the company, but I am here for you guys. Like I have mentioned in all of my previous videos, I am looking out for you and what car you're going to be getting. So if you are in the market for a Model Y now and there is no incentives or there's no good incentives available, I highly recommend waiting out for the Model Y Juniper. And if it doesn't come out to be anything spectacular, you can always get the older one at such a big discount, or you guys can just leap for the newer one and possibly more incentives. The current federal rebate could possibly still apply. There is so much more that we don't know as of yet. So it's only a few months left. I'd say wait out to see what's there, what's available before making your final decision. Of course, as always, I will be keeping a close eye on all of this and updating you as quickly as possible when anything comes up. So make sure you stick around, hit that subscribe and that bell notification, and follow me on Twitter at HeyJohnE if you haven't already done so. Over there, you guys can chat with me, DM me, and I will give you guys the most up-to-date information as possible, even before YouTube. So yeah, hit me up over there. But this should wrap it up for this one. This is John once again. Peace out.